Hi, welcome to another demonstration for the Unitrends Certified System Administration course. In this how-to video tutorial, we're going to take a look at creating and managing Oracle backup jobs. Once again, I've got a local source Satori interface running here that I'm going to log into, and I'm going to log in as my own account. How do we back up databases directly with the Unitrends Oracle Agent backups? And that's what we're going to look at. Once again, if anytime you log in, make sure you don't have any alerts. Make sure you've already addressed your error messages. These are from SQL that we caused through Application Aware. Make sure if you're into Application Aware and running SQL on VMware, you check that setting out. It's a great demo. But we've already addressed these things, and what I'm going to show you is here under Not Protected so far. If we look at Not Protected in our protection summary, we can click on that in the dashboard and get right into it. You'll notice that when you, once again, register the agent against your asset that has Linux running on it, we want to break this down to 50 because we have 47 now. So if we want to break this down here, here's my Linux agent right here. And through that agent, I was able to detect these Oracle instances, these asset database names here. Accounts paid DB, accounts received DB, clients DB1, order stats DB1. And there's also ORCL, which is a kind of a control default like template database. So we can see all of those assets in here, and we can see that they're false. Now, once again, through the installation process, we went over to our Linux server. We logged in as administrator through the terminal or even through VNC here. However, you're going to get to your Linux boxes. Right, log in through VNC, PuTTY, however you're going to get to your Linux boxes. And once again, you do have to download from the Unitrends website under Support and Downloads right here. You'll go to the latest agent release section. And once again, based on your flavor of Linux, we showed you this in the asset management demo, we just have to make sure that if we're protecting Oracle, we download and install this Oracle dependency agent right here. Now, I'm running CentOS, and I've already downloaded the 64-bit Oracle dependency. I went out to the terminal, and under my administrator account, I ran that installation, sudo, as the root, I ran that installation. And then that's what allows Unitrends, between the agent and the Oracle dependency, that's what allows us to be able to read these as assets in here and to be able to back them up. Now, one thing you'll notice, a quick way to check your Oracle assets and whether or not we can protect them, because there are other requirements. Remember, you can't be using any Oracle RAC, right? You can't be using any Oracle clustering, ready access clustering. You have to make sure that your databases, make sure they're configured in open and archive log modes. The database has to be online as well, too. So you have some of those other caveats in there to make sure you meet before you can protect the Oracle databases. They may just list in there. But the easiest way to check them is if you go to your Protect tab and you drop down to your Oracle instance right here in the little navigation tree, and you go to your Oracle instance, if you see these databases in here and they don't say offline, or you can check them, then you can go ahead and back those databases up. The other way to check is just to start creating a job. We're going to show you how to do this here in a few more minutes, but I do want to show you that if you go to the Oracle instances in here, you can drop this same thing down, and you can see all of these databases. Now, you'll notice that the Protect tab, you can still check it from the Protect tab, but when you get inside of here, you'll notice it's offline and that we can't back it up when it's offline. Remember, the database has to be online. Now, once again, back here in my Satori interface, if I look under the Configuration tab in here, once again, you can see that we registered this agent once again. We've installed the Oracle dependency, and here you can see your Oracle assets. Now, one of the things you have to do with Oracle is you have to assign a credential through Unitrends as part of the Aura DBA group. It can be the sysdba account as well, too. Now, I've set up my own account through Linux back here. I'm logged in as Oracle. It's part of the Aura DBA group, right? This account is, and it has local administrator rights. Now, that account, I'm going to go ahead and pass through to Unitrends. Okay, now one of the first things I'm going to do is manage my credentials, and I'm going to create a new account that I can use to assign these databases. All right, so I'm going to add a new account down here, and we're just going to call this account Oracle. You can call it whatever you want. Oracle Admin, Oracle, Oracle Backups, whatever you want to call it. we're going to use that same Oracle username, and it is case sensitive through Linux. So make sure you type it as the account sits inside of your Linux or Unix system. It is case sensitive. Here we're using a lowercase o. Now I'm also going to type that password that matches that account through the system. And you may have to set a domain. In this case, I am not going to set a domain. I'm just going to go ahead and create and save this new account in here. You'll see now I have an Oracle account here. So now that we've got that credential created, we can go ahead and check the assets that we want to go ahead and set that credential for. Check just the assets that you want to use that credential for. All right, now we can go ahead up here at the top, and we can go ahead and use that same Oracle credential and set it towards these 4 assets in the background. That way they have rights to run the backups against those database objects. Okay, one of the first things you have to do in Oracle is, once again, set those credentials. We talked about it in the module. That's really how you do it right there. You'll create the account through Linux, and then you'll assign that account through Unitrends, right to each database asset. Not at the agent or the instance level. It won't do you any good there. All right, now that we've got our credentials set, we can go ahead and create jobs for these objects. If we look at our cheat sheet, right, remember we're always using that installation planning, or we've got some sort of guideline that we're trying to follow, whether it's from the vendor or Oracle directly, or we're just going to use kind of a default weekly full and a daily incremental, and we can just go ahead and set those up. Once again, under the Protect tab, you can go to this area, and you can check at the instance level, and you can check the databases that you want to protect to create that backup job. That's the easiest way to get in here and have that job created for you when you're looking at database names or virtual machines sometimes in groups. All right, the other way to create it, once again, I'll show you this way, is under Jobs. You can go to the Create tab over the top. You can go to Backup here once again. This way you have to make sure you drop down to the Oracle, what do you want to back up question. Make sure you go to Oracle Assets. And once again, you'll see your instance, but you have to drop these arrows down. You'll click on the asset that you want to protect. Make sure it shows up in the inventory list on the right. Make sure it shows up on the inventory list on the right. You can do auto includes for Oracle as well, just like SQL, just like VMware and Hyper-V. Be aware, though, these are trouble, because if you do a lot of testing in dev and you throw Oracle out there and it's just a test database, you may not want to back it up right away. This will pick it up on the next round of schedules, any new database that you create. So usually if you are going to enable one of these auto includes, just like the other modules, I tell you, start with your most simple schedule. Create a weekly full and set it to auto include. Put one database in there. That'll take care of it. At least you're not running daily fulls, right, on new stuff. You got about a week to get it out. So here on the next page is where we go ahead and start to label this based on our schedule that we're going to run. Here we are running agent-based Oracle backups, so I like to, once again, separate this out so somebody coming in behind me kind of knows what this job is going to be running. And this is my agent-based Oracle. I'm going to run a week full with a 12-hour incremental. Something like that. Somebody coming in behind me is going to know what this job is running from a basic standpoint. Just looking at the job names here, you can kind of tell that. Now, once again, we are creating a brand new schedule for this. You notice here in the select backup mode for Oracle, we only have the option of full only or fulls with incrementals. For Oracle here, we are going to run a weekly full on Fridays at 11 o'clock. So you want to make sure we set this to 11 p.m. Now, you also remember here at the start date, we want to set this first Friday full to run on the first Friday we want to start this, which is going to be the 11th for me here. I'm at March 7th today. I want this to start on Friday at 11 p.m. Set that start date for your first full to the correct date. The first Friday you want it to start, first Saturday, every Saturday or first Saturday of the month, first Sunday of the month, set that proper date up here as well, too. If you were going first Saturday of the month, you'd come out here to April 2nd, all right, if you're going to run them monthly. All right, here we're doing every Friday at 11. Down here in the bottom section, we've got our incremental recurrence. We're going to run these Monday through Friday, weekdays only. We're going to leave this set for every Monday through Friday for this Monday, starting today. And we're going to run this at 11 o'clock tonight. Now, this will run its first full tonight at 11 o'clock, and then tomorrow will be an incremental, Wednesday, Thursday. On Friday, we want to make sure we're not running another incremental because we're running a full here on Fridays. So this is going to be Monday through Thursday at 11, and this is Friday at 11. Pretty simple strategy. Now, over here, once again, you got your options for your storage, your backup target. In most cases of physical appliances, once again, that's going to be your built-in internal storage. You can't expand it. In the case of UB for virtual appliances, that could be multiple storage devices in here. Once again, we recommend creating and managing one big internal pool, even for UB. There is a verify backups here that does turn on inline verification. It's just another layer of verification. We do verify the backups through the RMAN, through Oracle as well. Inline verification will just slow it down a little bit. It's verifying it at the block level, basically. You can also make sure that you include job results and failures in your reports. Usually you leave those on. Very rarely do you ever turn those off, unless it's maybe a test group. All right, so we're going to go ahead and create this schedule. We can see now in a list of our job managers here, we've got our agent-based Oracle week full 12-hour incremental. You can see it's never ran. It's going to run tonight at 11 o'clock if we let it. I can check my active queue right now. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. I don't have anything running. Check with the Oracle team. Yeah, they say, yeah, you can run a full right now for us. We go ahead and kick that group off. Now I've got my active jobs running in here. 4 databases backing up all at once. Concurrent connections. Do you remember back to the module on how Oracle backups work? Remember, it's going to open up that share through the Samba configuration. We're going to transmit that backup directly to the share through RMAN. Then Unitrends is going to read from that share and create the Oracle backup. So once again, if you go off to your appliance, that kind of tells me that if you go off your appliance here, when backups are running, you should be able to see a new share created. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are 4 Oracle backups running. Each one of those contains or will contain content as they're starting to mount and create here. Unitrends, once again, will back up from those shares. Now it's at 29%. Let's check it. Still nothing there. Now it's at 40. Now there's some material there. Now there's some data, some content. All right, if you go back over here and kind of look at the details of this, you can see now it says it's executing the backup. Before it said it was opening and configuring the share. Now each one of these is sending out data to these backups. Pretty cool process. Once these are done, it will tear those shares down, remember, and clean itself up. All right, so we'll go ahead and time lapse and let these run for a little bit. You won't really see any other statuses in here. Just kind of got to watch it here. Oracle doesn't update like a file level or VMware type of backup or Exchange backups or SQL. Oracle kind of just sits here at this process and says it's executing the back. Then it's going to say it's removing remote share or removing share. Okay, we'll see it here in just a second. Now here at 69%, you can see that it says at the bottom here in the message, it says that it's packaging the backups. All right, remember, this is a 2 kind of step process where it created the share and dumped the backup to the share from the Oracle side. Now Unitrends is taking that backup and reading that backup and putting it in its CTAR format on the Unitrends appliance. All right, remember, that's a 2-step kind of process, and it's in the second step now at 69%. Once again, when this is done, it will clean up after itself. Down here at the bottom, we can see that it says updating the database for the Linux Server 2. We have to remember that that's our agent-based asset for these databases. So it's updating the database records for these assets, but it says that down there. But once it's done updating the database records, then it's going to clean up and remove the share, and this backup will finish up. At the end, you can see it says unmounting NFS share, and then the job just ends, and it drops off the active list. So once those jobs are off our active list, we can go over here to recent jobs, and we should see them pop up right at the top because, once again, it's sorted by started by default here, right? The last time the backup started. So it's newest backups at the top there. You can see these jobs all ran here. Once again, if I do have any failures or warnings or successes, I can sort or scroll through and find those if I need to. But we are looking at successful backups here for our Oracle objects, our Oracle assets. Right? You can see the agent they came off and the asset or the database name here. All right, once again, you can click on any one of these details, and up here at the top in the main menu, you can export the details to CSV for support, but there's also a view log here. Once again, this was a successful job. This is a log reference. You can put that path into the appliance and go and view that log. You really can't do anything here but view the job, view the successes. Right, once again, here in our dashboard, right, these numbers have not changed yet. This will only refresh every hour. So it just did it here at 10:45. These assets just became protected, these new assets, right? Because if I run the report and I actually filter on true first, this looks at everything that has at least a full. And here, if I sort on the next column, or actually let me view all of these first, here you can see our Oracle objects here at the bottom. But once again, at the top, you can filter or sort on these. So if this is Oracle and you're looking for an Oracle asset, you may just want to filter on the asset type. Or if you know part of the name or a group of part of the name, you could type in DB1 here, and those are all of my Oracle assets. You can see that they all are marked true. I do have one Oracle asset that is marked false. So if I do filter back on the Oracle asset type, once again, you will have one Oracle asset that's marked false. It's kind of the default database in there. You don't have to protect it. I'm not backing mine up. If you scroll down to the bottom in here, once again, under the backup section, you'll now see that you have an Oracle object in here. Once again, we have more than 25, so we need to make sure we increase that items per page at the bottom. Now I can see all my Oracle assets in here. I can see that they at least have a full. I can see what schedule they're a part of. And once again here, once again up here at the top of this page, you can go ahead and filter on the asset type, and maybe you just want to look at all of your Oracle objects. There you can see they're all part of a schedule. All right, notice this one does not show up down here because it's not part of a schedule, and I don't have a full for it. If you have a manual full, it shows up on this list, but it's not part of a schedule. I do have an example for that for our web server here. You can see it. I have a manual full of it, but the schedule section here is empty. It's blank. That tells me that it's not part of a schedule like the rest of these objects, but it does have a manual full, a one-time. You see I ran it here on March 3rd at 1:45 p.m. All right, so you'd see the same thing with Oracle if you had a one-time full. So now here in my dashboard, if I go back, you still see it says 27 once again because this is not refreshed. You can click this, but it doesn't refresh the dashboard until you go and maybe run the report and then go back to the dashboard. Now these have flipped by 4. And this went down to 16. This went up to 31. It just is a nice way to kind of know exactly what you have protected. Do I have a full for the right number of assets I should have? You should know your numbers up here. After 7 days, these errors will go off the list. You see any new errors, make sure you're paying attention to those. Now, the other thing to kind of look at in here is the Protect tab. Once again, you can go to your dashboard here, or I'm sorry, you can go to the Protect tab here, and you can go to the appliance in the navigation here. And you're noticing now that I'm looking at everything down the entire list. You can see some assets, once again, are not protected, so you don't see anything. You can see that entire list. All right, if you look at the web server, it has that one snapshot, nothing else. We want to focus on our Oracle objects, and you can see them down here. All right, you can see them right there. We could also use the filter once again to filter on maybe DB1. There's all of our Oracle objects. I don't have any failures, anything like that in the last 7 days. I have all successes from today. Same list. You can use those filters down at the bottom. They're pretty cool. Right? Once again, if you want to look at this entire list, maybe you want to filter over here on just your successes. That shortens that list up. That's the stuff you're only protecting. Now, if you want to recover, you want to really verify backups, you want to make sure you go to your recovery tab. Once again, right now, we're filtered on all successful backups. If you want to narrow down and maybe only look at your Oracle databases or a name of one database, filter it down to that name. Very easy to find assets in our new recovery backup catalog area. All right, these catalogs can be chosen for any type of recovery up here. Once again, check the Oracle recovery module and demonstration for more details on how to recover Oracle and the different options and caveats. But very easy to filter these. Right now, we only have a set of fulls. We come back and run more points in time, they'd show up. Each incremental every night is going to show up just like they do for all of our other assets in here. If I take this filter off once again, here's an example of SQL. Oracle looks the same way. These are transactional. Oracle runs incrementals. All right, maybe the same thing as looking at here. Fulls and incrementals is what you'll see for Oracle as well. You can see the Oracle objects down here. Currently, right now, we only have fulls. Once again, check the recovery module on the different recovery options from the different backup types and a little bit more detail on the backups as well. Now, you can also run a few reports in here. You can run the backup history report. Make sure you are looking at, the date range you want to run it on, whatever that range is. Once again, you can sort it by all kinds of different things. You want to look at the newest backups that just ran. There's the newest Oracle backups right there. Once again, you could sort or filter on any of these columns. If you wanted to look at just your Oracle stuff, you could filter that out. Maybe you want to look at everything across this asset for Linux server through the agent. You could filter that out. Pretty cool. Okay, that's all the asset-based backups, file level, and Oracle for that server. A lot of different ways to filter up here. All right, once again, if maybe you wanted to filter on just the database name, this is Oracle and SQL, right, with just DB. I have all my Oracle with a 1 at the end of it, so I can filter it out a little bit easier. You can do stuff like that within your names. Very easy to manage backups in here, in the reports, in the recover catalog. So that's a pretty good overview for you for Oracle backup jobs.